Yo, yo! What is up, good people? The boys from the Flight Team Geek Zone. We're back again with another dope episode for y'all. As per usual, I'm Izzy.
I'm Real.
And today we're continuing with our MCU recap series. Taking a bit of an interesting turn, shall we say.
That's the last time you're going to see him smile in this whole video.
Yeah. Hey man, yeah. So this time around, we're gonna be breaking down none other than Eternals. And yeah, man, listen.
Marvel really set this one up. They set it up and they really knocked it down.
Yo, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush or nothing for this. The one thing I'm gonna ask is that, and I mean, again, we've addressed this. It's a weird phase for Marvel, all of that stuff.
They're trying to figure out who their big guys are.
Yeah, but is this the worst Marvel movie ever? In the MCU, at least. Because we've seen some pretty bad ones, and there's some bad ones
what were
coming
the
up
other
as
stinkers?
well. The main one, which for me I think was more of a letdown, as opposed to like horribly bad, but the public felt a lot more, shall we say, passionate about how much they hated it. Captain Marvel.
Okay. And then I
Other
guess
than that-
Love and Thunder, maybe?
Yeah.
But obviously we're
that's-
skipping ahead for that one.
Yeah,
but
the ones
it's
that
the
are down line.
conversation
So,
we're having, yeah.
Yeah, Love and Thunder, and then the Marvels would be the other. I believe those are like top
Oh,
three trash movies.
Captain Marvel and the Marvels.
Yeah, that's like top three
poor girl,
trash
man.
movies. But I'm like, as far as what I've seen, I'm like, nah. It's hard to see anything being worse than this. I mean, let me not get ahead of myself, but so far, it kind of feels like it.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
I enjoyed Captain Marvel more than this one.
That's kind of my point, yeah.
So yeah, but Marvels I'll have to rewatch, and then if we're doing a side by side, worst Marvel
Then
movie ever, then yeah.
we'll see when we get to
see,
that.
but,
But as at this point, I think this was so bad on so many levels.
I don't even think it was just bad. It just made me feel indifferent, which is even worse. Because like you can hate on a bad movie, but this was just like, it's like, what were you getting at? It's like, what were you getting at?
Thank you for that question, because I asked myself so many times, like, I don't even understand like what the point of this movie is. And look, beyond just, we're telling another superhero story, we're introducing different characters, that's just the baseline of everything. But just in terms of why are you telling this particular story? Because with any character, there's like an endless amount of choices that you can make as far as what direction you want to go. And then over and above that, there's the matter of, after choosing the story, how do you tell it?
Yeah.
And then, the allegories, man. What are the lessons? This, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I think there were too many plot lines here for its own good.
Yeah.
You've got the Eternals figuring out who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this weird deviant getting more evolved. You should have chosen one, not both. There was Eternals figuring out to themselves, but also telling us like the backstory, like an origin movie.
Yeah.
And there was something else. It was like I wrote it down, like repeating Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Ooh. Actually.
And I guess it makes sense because Celestials, and I think in the comic book space, Ego is also a Celestial. He's a Celestial. Yeah, he's also a Celestial.
Yeah.
I think so. Like it's the same thing basically, but also like plot holes. Like was it Arishem told the Celestials like, "I've made you so you can't evolve and you backchat me," and then that's exactly what they do. But there's no explanation. Like,
I was going to say without any catalyst.
So there's like whole plot holes. Like they got from A to C without maybe showing us or telling us B. You don't have to do it all the time, but this is
just a little something.
This is a little something, but here I think you had to because these are new characters. We know who they are.
Nothing about these people.
Like with the Spider-Man or like if you're going Batman and Superman, you don't need to tell us their origin stories. We've seen a whole lot of other movies, other comics. People know it well enough. But here, Eternals, very new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think exactly that for me. Like, what was the point? What are we doing? And to your point around plot holes, for me, it just came through as confusion. Like the whole time I'm like, hey, ha. Not to mention, dog, what is it? A team of like 6 people or something? Do you know how many new characters that is to try and balance at once? And then in one scene, this one is there. In the next scene, they dead. In the other one, they like back. And I'm like, what is... It's so disjointed. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
What is happening? And
like, it's-
even this thing of like, you know, like the kind of sort of familiar names, you know, it's like not Athena, it's Thena. It's like as though
Festus, not Hephaestus. And
actual names are not confusing enough, and then now you do this slight alteration, and then have to keep up with the backstories of all of them, and then how they all interact. Look, any movie, we speak a lot about, you know, the dynamics, the characters interacting with one another, but it's usually like, on one side it's like the hero interacting with those around them, and then interacting with the villain, and then now it's like even the heroes interacting with themselves, because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
It's like Avengers
it's
on day one, and I'm like,
Yes, it's an ensemble cast gone wrong.
but I feel like there wasn't enough time, or perhaps they went, because I mean, she's 2.5 hours or something, like, for what, guys?
Yeah.
And what is it with these horror movies and going for like, you know, a crazy runtime, dude? But anyway, so yeah, Doc, I felt confused, like from A to Z, I don't want to lie. So many different things happening, and I'm like, huh?
It's too many different things happening.
Yes.
It's because they wanted to give each character a little bit of shine.
Nah, dog. And I feel like the one of, if not the biggest insult to injury, is the waste of characters. I mean, you have some
Industry heavyweights, eh?
You have Angelina. Fam, never mind the fact that Angelina Jolie never did a superhero movie until this. And I mean, maybe wanted, you know, those more comic book movie. if you will.
Maleficent.
But, yeah. But definitely none of these marquee types and so on. That's the one part, right? The comic book side of things. Then, when was the last time you saw Angelina Jolie in a movie? I mean, even since this movie dropped, she's not out there like that. You know, she's been semi-retired for the longest time. Maleficent had a sequel, ne?
Yeah.
So maybe the sequel was
probably
the
like the
last
most
time when
recent,
she popped. And then this movie came out, and there's been nothing ever since. Not that I've seen anyway, you know. So it's like, talk about a hell of a waste, dude. Kumel Nanjiya.
Man got buff for nothing.
And like crazy buff. Man,
you saw his biceps when he was doing the Bollywood dancing.
You guys gave this guy literal PTSD. He even went to therapy for it. Like, this movie came out, what year was this?
23?
2022.
Yeah.
So call it for 3 years. He released the stand-up special this year, where he's still addressing how much he was affected by the bombing of this movie. And so it's like, we as the fans are not the only ones, you know, that were so let down by this. Even the cast themselves, but especially him, because
such big names, like what's his name, Barry.
Even the up and comers, I saw him, you know,
Tyree Henry,
Kit Harington, of course, is now him, kind of, you know,
just post Game of Thrones, and
like,
even
his career
Icarus,
type
I forget his real name now.
Icarus,
He's also,
I've seen him around here and there. The Bodyguard and Citadel. I think.
He's also from Game of Thrones.
Is he? Okay, yeah. So it's like became like a young stepping stone / you know, homage to the OGs type of movie. So the cast itself was like, hey man, we're seeing some potential.
And Bill Skarsgård as the deviant, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn. And then they just decided, nah. Let's do one of the worst possible choices we can make at every turn. Let's go make even worse choices than those, you know. So, this movie was just atrocious, man. I don't want to lie. I remember I don't believe I didn't go to watch this at the cinema.
I did, I think.
When I saw the chatter,
visually was fine.
When I saw the chatter, I was like, I'm not, because also remember, never mind post in-game, whatever. When you're talking new characters, there's now that, hey, do I not go to the cinema and pay, you know, crazy amounts for IMAX and whatnot? So when I heard that chat, I was like, okay, maybe I'll give this a skip. And eventually when I watched it, I was like, yes, why did I even bother myself, you know? So you can only imagine the pain watching it again now. Like, the times I've like fell asleep and whatever. And even when, like, you know when you fall asleep, you miss a couple things and then you like wake up and I must rewind. Even in the rewind, I was like, I'm not missing anything, but let me just rewind just cause, so, man, this was, again, maybe there's a debate around whether or not it was the worst movie. It was definitely the most painful movie to watch, I'll tell you that much. But And look, despite the hyperbole and all of that, I actually do mean it. You know, like it just wasn't a good movie, man. I don't understand anything
But
around
also
it.
like
But
character choices as well. It's like they try to be all inclusive. So even the characters, you know.
yeah,
You got yes, we like representation,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But then they did the Hollywood cop out. They made the black guy the queer one as well.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
don't like it when they lump in.
And he had to be like the magical, all wise black guy as
Yeah.
well. And so, yeah, man, there's just so many. And I'm like, look,
Or the Western Asian, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Gilgamesh was probably my favorite character, but that's such a caricature of America. It's
Exactly.
like the West, the redneck Asian,
which
you
is
know?
just the thing we were saying Shang-Chi did well. It's like you brought in representation, but you told proper,
Yeah.
true stories. Like, you know, you didn't just do the low-hanging fruits type thing. So then they decided for this one, let's go low-hanging fruit. Why not, you know? So that definitely wasn't an enjoyable part of the experience. And I think maybe to get even more specific around some of the issues. Look, we've also touched on it a few times as well, as far as Superman-esque characters, you know. And I mean, here you're talking about, you know, the Eternals, these
Yeah.
all-powerful beings, immortals, and
And they were
whatever.
a bit on the nose. They're like, that's Superman. That's Icarus.
Yeah, literally. Because the problem with that is when you have such a character,
Man was Superman, but was trying to be a Homelander.
the problem is though, like the story doesn't even justify any of
Yeah.
that stuff, and not to mention, it does not create a connection between them and the audience. Dude, the most easy way to do that is, I mean, if you think of Superman, right? You think Clark Kent and you think of the parents. That's like home base as far as the vulnerability and all of that, right? We feel for him through them because we relate more to them as
Yeah.
humans and their experience. Similarly, even with
Yep.
this one. All right, so after that commercial ad break,
Well, I hope you liked our sponsors.
what's it? Promo code PGZ. You know? But yeah, nah, don't worry about that. So as I was saying, right, with the immortal beings, you need to find human moments to
Yes,
connect
you're
them
right.
to us.
They were not relatable.
Because it was only about them. And the humanity stuff was more philosophical, if you will. Like, I think it was it the opening shot or what? There's like two humans there by the beach, you know, that got devoured by the
Deviants, yeah.
the deviants, right? Okay, that's not enough to create a connection, you know, to us as the audience. Again, I feel like it's right there, dude. Like, you think of any vampire movie or whatever the hell, you fall in love with a human being, or you at least, you know, what's the word now? But you become a part of that community, right? You acclimate yourself, and then through the whole dichotomy of like the humans aging, you don't, losing people type of thing, that's where we start to then get drawn into your story.
Yeah.
There was none of that in this. I feel like they teased it a bit with the
Sprite, yeah.
and also Kit Harington,
Oh, yeah.
because he's the human boyfriend, and then next thing, 5 minutes later, gone. It's back to the ex. He's now the main one in the picture, and I'm like, it's just around the immortal beings, right? Now and then they'll do a throwback, and the weird timeline jumps. You guys are not Christopher Nolan. Leave that shit alone, man. Leave it to the professionals, damn it.
I'm gonna disagree. I didn't mind the timeline jumps because contextualizing their story.
I lost that contextualization, but maybe break it down for me.
But then if you don't like it here, you can't like it in Shang-Chi. Same thing.
No. The thing is,
Yeah.
you saying it as a base concept, but for me, it's like when tying it with everything, like the story and all of that, you can't just time jump for the sake of time jumping. If I'm not drawn or buying into your story, then all of that is not gonna make any sort of a difference. And I think that's the two and how they differ, you know, between Shang-Chi and this. Like the story, we spoke about how it's easy to like buy in, it's easy to follow. And
So
all
like
that.
your problem is not the time skipped; it's the story.
Because of the base foundation being so lackluster. Anything on top of that for me is like, why? It's like trying to be all fancy, but you're not taking care of the primary principles. That is pretty much where I'm coming from with that.
Yeah.
You know. So, what's the other thing? But it was just gonna be more of a explanation around the notion of bring humans into the center of the story, so that you make us, the human audience, buy into it. And then all these things that you're talking about, you've lived for so long, you've seen this, and then now you're kind of sort of facing, your own mortality because your memories are at risk of being, rewritten. Mankind could get destroyed. It's like, dog, just 2 movies ago, half of mankind was snapped out and we dealt with that and whatever. Now this thing, it almost feels like, because you spoke about tying this to Guardians 2, whereas for me, I was reminded more of like, the Infinity Stone saga. I'm like, but we dealt with that already. Why are we doing it so soon afterwards? So yeah, they just failed to create a real connection for me to the story and the
disconnect,
characters.
like they were always telling us how great humans were. They never showed us how great they were.
And the actual experience of it, which is where for me the time jump sort of made more sense, because they showed them living among humans, but I don't feel
how were they immersed in that culture?
Exactly. And how did those lessons come through to you? What is that you saw? We were like, yeah, humans can do this, but I also saw them laugh. I also saw this, but we're not seeing that, So that is basically the essence of my issue with this. And also the Kit Harington thing, I did say, as far as like the human romance of it, I lost that. But besides that, it feels like they were teasing him as some major character, but
I think it's related to Blade.
it is, but it's so sparse and not enough.
Yeah,
of it,
so
because
that's
you saw
the
in
thing.
the
I don't
beginning-
think he was meant to be like. I think the whole point of his character was to tease Blade. I don't think it was. So that's the thing. Like
Talk about,
the intentional
side character.
Yeah,
there,
you know what I
man.
mean. The intention of his character, I don't think was what we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But that's why he felt like a throwaway character.
And if you're gonna use a familiar face to do that, you're not helping, because the familiarity makes us think, oh, what's happening with him? Not what is he pointing us towards type of thing, So that was like the worst type of bait and switch, if you will, And anything else from your end?
Even the cameo of Harry Styles at the end.
Is he
He's Thanos' brother.
in the story, but in real life, is he the one who's? I always confuse the two. Remember, there's one who.
No. Harry's still alive. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, there's a guy by the.
The unalived one is not in the
All
MCU.
right, cool. Yeah, I've always not for no real reason, but I've always gotten the two confused. So when I saw him, I'm like, hey, but also like, oh, Thanos' brother, really? Like,
So like, I don't know. It was just nice to see him there. Nice cameo, a little Easter egg, but they didn't pay it off. They're not going to pay it off.
No, this is it.
I really feel bad for this movie because they did like a world press tour and stuff. Like they really pushed the marketing on this.
Yeah.
And it fell flat.
And I mean, again, I touched on it, but maybe to expand a bit more on Nanjiani, is that the surname? Kumail Nanjiani.
Shout out to Karun, his butler. Good fun.
Oh yeah,
really good fun.
He was a fun little side character. I suppose speaking of bringing humans in, but obviously not in the way I would have wanted. But so he is a stand-up comic.
But
and
also
then became a comedic actor. And now this was meant to be the movie that's going to launch him into the next level of his career. But besides that, with Marvel characters, which is why a lot of the stars you don't tend to see in many other movies, or maybe it'll be like a smaller type project, is because you're tied in for like 10 movies or so, all at once, basically. So he signed such a contract. And so it's one thing for the movie to flop, and then of course, all the hate that he got as a result of it. But him thinking, man, this is it. I'm set up for my next 10 years are basically
it's life-changing money.
Exactly. So it's almost like getting a promotion and it being yanked after getting
it's a promotion in name only.
yeah.
The money stays the same.
So that's basically what he has been dealing with. And I think, I don't know if it was said in so many words, but basically the project is kind of dead and done. Doesn't seem like there's going to be any plans to make like a sequel or do any sort of follow-up on it. So besides the effect on the actors, but even just then in terms of building and continuing the story. I suppose the one time, did you watch Captain America, the new one?
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't there like a...
Adamantium is basically Tiamat has got turned into adamantium, so I guess
so
that's
there is some
tie into the
form
world.
of continuation. We'll see if there's going to be anything further than that. Perhaps
is that where the Eternals returned?
I was going to say, maybe like bringing the characters, in other movies before you try to do their own thing. I don't know. Look, in real time, Disney is, of course, working on getting back on track. So we'll see what's gonna
Yeah.
what's gonna
But
come
also,
next.
like,
but
why do they do the classic Indian trope and make him a Bollywood star doing the dancing and the
literally,
singing?
dog, I was like,
As a brown person myself, I was like,
Yeah.
why? Are we not more than that?
and that's the funny thing, right? A lot of the times you'd find, I mean, even on behalf of like black rights or whatever, it'll be people outside of the culture saying certain things, and we're like, sit down. We don't care about that. We're fine with that,
Yeah.
So for me, watching it, I'm like, I had to be like, is it cliche? Is it not? So I guess,
No, it's so bad.
at least,
At least,
someone from the inside is saying it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, so it wasn't just me thinking that. Is like, am I trying to be like, some black savior or whatever? Like, so yeah, no, it definitely, like I said, man, fell short in so many, not only different ways, but different and weird ways as well. So it's like, it felt like there's so many rookie mistakes, but they're so far into the game as the MCU that none of these things should still be, happening. So, hey, yeah, dog. I don't know. Do you want to kick them down any further, or have you
I've
got
got
it all
one
off your chest?
little highlight. I was like,
Okay.
I really like the story where they were like, Kumar was saying to Sprite was like, I see you as Tinkerbell, like relating it to like fables. And I was
okay.
like, it's
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's like Icarus is Peter Pan and Wendy is Cersei, and then you're Tinkerbell. And
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I would have loved that story being told, like how
Yeah,
how
like
she
tell it as the
betrayed.
actual parallel
Yeah,
to-
like how she was going to betray the team.
Yes,
Like that would have
yes,
been
yes,
a
yes,
lovely
yes.
story to tell.
I think maybe one last thing we can dig into. We spoke a lot around the elements surrounding the characters, but what about like the portrayal, of the different people, whether it's specifics or even in general?
Let's see. We can go through all the Celestials if you
Okay.
want. So Salma Hayek
Yeah.
as Ajak, I don't really know. I don't have an opinion there. I don't think she had enough screen time.
Yeah. Oh, just given much to work with.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've got Icarus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more internal strife from him. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Was he, in as much as more internal strife would have been nice to see, but I also felt like not that the bar was high, but was he the best portrayed character?
In the movie.
Yeah. I feel like he's up there at the least.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously it seems like he got given the most screen time as well.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah. They gave him the most to
Yeah.
work with.
Like
yeah.
Cersei is the one I would have liked more.
Yes,
Just
because
more.
I mean,
she's the leader now.
yes, literally. I always felt that, and that's the thing. Never mind being crowned a leader, but any origin, the superhero, there's that element of having to really earn your powers and to show that
Like,
okay, I am going to do this thing.
She transformed deviant into a tree. Build on that.
The only thing I felt is that she's got a very humane nature to
Yeah.
her. You saw in the
If
classroom
anything,
with the
she'd be the
kids
most
and-
relatable character you can.
But they didn't do much with that, I mean, there was the angle of course, the relationship and how you handle that. There's the protective side, with Sprite.
Yeah.
The kids again showed like the kind, soft side, and then there's the internal conflict of the team as far as wait, is this our actual mission? How do we handle it as the leader? We look to you, and so there were so many missed opportunities in terms of then having her character grow into that leader and also proving to us that, and herself, I suppose, that she does actually deserve that post.
That one, Thina, I guess, Angelina Jolie, for what they gave her, I think she's always going to kill it. So I did like a character for what it was. Would have liked more.
Yes, yeah. I want to know.
Gilgamesh, the homie there, don't know his name, do apologize. I liked his character a lot.
Which one is this?
Gilgamesh, so the Thina's like partner, the Asian dude.
Is he the buff guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he had the most like flair of all the characters, like most personality.
Yeah, inherent personality,
yeah.
but not much of the character,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Was brought
It was
forward.
a fun character for what
Sure.
it lasted.
Yeah.
And then let's see who you've got else. You drew
Then
Sprite.
there's that-
We mentioned Sprite. Would have liked to see more of her story.
Sprite was pretty
you know,
cool. I also
and
wanted more.
a lot more.
Especially because, I mean, was it not, if not the first scene, but definitely one of the most pivotal ones. when they were in the club, and then there was that whole thing.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
she's like, someone's like that older woman.
Yeah,
and it's
older
like,
version of herself. Yeah.
yeah, like dealing with that whole thing because I mean they're all immortal and it's like in their current form, and then Sprite is like a younger person.
Yeah.
So just that whole thing of man, the restrictions in life that it's bringing, and now you have to spend eternity that
Yeah.
way. So much room to
Can't
explore.
you can't love people who you want to love.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Then who was that? Druig. So
There was the
Druig, yeah, the mind
the
controller.
magician. Yeah.
He had no character growth from the 1500s because he was literally mind controlling people in the forest.
Oof.
So like, okay,
Yeah.
you know. Then Makari, the mute lady.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she had such such good facial expressions.
Yes. Yeah, she was very emotive.
Yeah, and I would have loved to see more of her and yeah. But again, I think they suffered from too many characters, and you can't flesh each one of them out.
Yeah.
So they all tried, but I don't think they were given the best platform to
because
shine.
the number one rule about an ensemble is that you gotta keep a balance. And we're not saying people must get equal screen time.
Yeah.
No, there's always a hierarchy in any given team, but give them what they need in order to grow,
and
show who
Festus,
they
like,
are. And
okay, he's gay, he's got a kid.
And
And
then that was
like,
kind of that.
like him, he like, you could see, like, what I really liked his scene was when the nuclear bomb dropped. And he's like, shit, I've done this. Like, more, please.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I feel like we needed, as you mentioned, more interaction with them and humans.
Yes.
And how they've affected humans over 7,000 years.
Especially if the center of their story is going to center around whether
saving-
or not,
saving
do we
humans,
save humans or,
Do you save 7 billion people or create hundreds of billions of lives?
Yeah. And that on its own,
It's a philosophical,
that they didn't go deep enough into.
The only one
they
who-
touched on it here and there. And
The
then
only one was maybe Kumail or Kingo, like where he had that strife. Is like, I'm not touching this because I agree with you, but I can't do that.
I don't
you know
want
what I
to
mean?
do. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Again, like really, drive into that. It was right there for them also. But yeah, I think that is pretty much, not even a nutshell. That's like all of it because there really isn't much more to say. Don't be fooled by the 2.5 hour runtime. Unless if there's, any final thoughts you want to throw into the mix.
I guess I would have liked to see more of the Deviant.
The Deviants, okay.
And how he was evolving as he absorbed powers.
Okay.
Because he's like, I'm going to go kill Celestials afterwards.
Yeah.
So, like, more of that backstory. Like, you've introduced so much lore into the universe now.
Yes. But you hardly flesh any of it out properly. Yeah. That, I think... Then,
What is it? It's the thing of multitasking. It's like when you do too many things, you're
Nothing is done
100%
properly.
occupied, but nothing's getting done.
Yeah. And I think the one other thing for me would have been more chaos/destruction with the actual deviants themselves, because it's like it appears here and then deal with it and move on. It appears here and then, but like just give it like a good 3-5 minute scene where it just ravages and destroys and whatever, so that we get a sense that damn, if you don't destroy these things, because we only got a sense of their true power. Of course, given that they gave the Eternals a struggle, but also because the dude was like, I will send those in order to destroy their predators and whatever. But it's like, show it in action so that we're like, hey, they really gotta kill those things, So that's the one thing I also missed from this. Other than that, that's pretty much it then. What would you want to give us out of 5, dare I ask?
Out of 5?
I mean, 10 is like, such a push, but definitely out of 10, I'm trying to say.
Maybe like a 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'm also thinking they're like a 3 or something. Like, to say they dropped the ball is like an understatement.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, it's that low because I wouldn't recommend people to watch it again.
I never want to watch it again. Like,
do you know
how
bad this movie was?
Yeah.
So I was watching it on Disney Plus, and I religiously watch things with subtitles, right?
Okay.
They don't even have an option for English subtitles. That's how bad this movie was.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Like,
they were like, because remember, to make the subtitles, yes, you may have a script and whatever, but you have to watch it to know where to place them. So they were like, I ain't doing that. They're like, nah.
Yeah, so that
Yes,
if anything, if you don't believe in our rating, the fact that there are no English subtitles should tell you
yeah.
exactly what you need to know.
Nah, I'm with you, man. Like, yeah, 3, even a 2, I'm like happy with. But yeah, the essence being, I have no interest in watching it. I would never dare, recommend this even to my worst enemy. So that's pretty much this, and it doesn't even deserve to be mentioned. Top 5, none of that stuff. Just gonna leave it as that. And in the strange, but I suppose possible scenario that anyone feels any different, then definitely listen, go all caps, go crazy, in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, and we'll refer you to the right person. So, yeah.
I'll make sure you go and get checked out, but otherwise, as always, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow us on Instagram, the Fat Tim Geek Zone, and as far as what's next, keep your eyes glued onto PGZ. Peace.